Okay, so here we are back for the side quests of Hengsha. We've got Return Business, which is the one available from the start. We've got Bar Tab, of course, available once you get entrance into the Hive, and Shanghai Justice, the mission that you unlock right at the end of the hub area, just before the last mission. All of there to choose from. Otherwise, we're going to play through all of them. And today I've got DJB with me once again.
Always do.
Yep, and let's just go straight into it. We've got Rotten Business available. Right.
Starting the video with cheesecake. Very nice.
Yep, starting at the brothel that you spawn at. Just going up the stairs on the 4th floor, the one just below the helicopter landing pad, of course. And just a little warning for the video, the voice acting is terrible. I mean, to the point where you think they wouldn't have a budget. It's so bad.
It's very, very, over-the-top stereotypical Chinese, to the point it sounds like a white guy putting on a racist Chinese accent. Not sure if they had actual Chinese actors or actresses, but, you know.
For some of the voice acting, they did have genuine Mandarin voice actors who might not have been that good, and I found out recently that it's something that I'm going to get back to in a minute.
You're not a customer, are you?
What makes you say that?
The way you move, your attitude.
And what's my attitude?
Police. Or soldier. Someone on business. So why are you here?
I heard your argument. What was that all about?
They want me to get augmentations. For the customer's pleasure. It's sick. I quit before I ever let them touch me.
Sounded like they don't consider it an option.
They don't. I am lucky, I guess. I've been here the longest. It has advantages. But the new girls, they're not so lucky.
What do you mean?
They are forced to get augments. It's very bad. One of the girls who work here, Ning, she has been gone for days. I fear they took her and will force her to get augmented. You seem like a good man. I am desperate. Please, can you help? I can pay you.
Why do you think Ning has been kidnapped?
Before, we could always refuse augmentations. But more and more girls got them, and it brings more money. Now they force us to do it. They won't even hire purebreds like me anymore, because they're not as popular.
Is Ning one of the pure breeds?
Yes. Oh, well, I hope she still is. They started pushing for her to get augments. She say no even when it gets violent. Now I fear they lose patience and will force the operation. Ning's not the first, and she won't be the last.
You keep referring to them. Who are they?
The Honghua Hotel used to be independent. In the past, we had to deal with local police for protection. And because we ran a clean and safe business, they looked the other way. But then, things changed.
What happened?
Bell Tower become the police in Lower Hensha, and they not care to help us. So, a drug lord came in with all his men and took control. Things has never been the same, and we cannot do anything about it.
Isn't this a job for the police?
The police leave Lower Hensha to Bell Tower, and Bell Tower not care what happens if criminal pay them money. They don't care about my friend, or any of the other girls forced into the sex trade.
What do you need me to do?
I heard the girls are drugged and taken to a place somewhere in Dagong district. There, they're held until the doctor comes. I wish you to find this place, to find where they're holding Ning. I hope it's not too late.
You said you can pay. How much are we talking here?
If you free Ning, I will pay good. 1,000 credit. More, if you're willing to help again.
Okay, I'll help your friend.
Thank you. I knew I was right about you, Mr.
Jenson.
Mr. Jenson, I fear there's little time. You must find Ning before they leash her with augments.
Leash her?
Yes, they call it that. They leash their girls with augments to keep them under control by supplying neuropazine. I do not know where they keep Ning. just that it is somewhere in Dagong district.
A specific location would help.
I tell you, I do not have one. But there is a bouncer here, Chuan Li. He works with these people. He will know where Ning is. He goes to the roof to smoke often. Look for him there. You might be able to convince him to reveal the place.
Anything else you can give me?
Yes. The men holding Ning. They most likely work with local triad gang here, the harvesters. If you look for some of them around, maybe you find Ning better.
Got it.
So that whole
Conversation with the madam, yeah, saying how girls are being leashed, which is essentially a metaphor for crack whores.
a really obvious one, like even I noticed that.
How pimps hook their girls onto crack so they won't run off because they got an addiction. But here's one of the harvesters who's kidnapped one of the girls.
Shove off, before I shove you off.
I'm here to see you.
Uh-huh. What about?
Ning,
Open a phone book. Plenty of them in there.
your friends are holding her. I can make it worth your while if you tell me where.
Worth my while? Yeah, maybe. Let's see some credits first, the tough guy, and then maybe I'll tell you where to find her.
So we can bribe here, which can waste a lot of money, but if we have the pheromone system we can convince him very easily and it will save us a lot of money.
I gotta make sure she's okay first. She'll be a lot more valuable to me and you if she's alive and in one piece, if you know what I mean.
I get it. Smart businessman you are. Okay. I'll tell you. They're holding her on a small side street just off the open gutter in the Daigong district. But listen, I didn't say anything, right?
So if you fail at bribing that guy or convincing him, then you have to knock him out, and he has a pocket secretary on him telling him where the girl is, Ning. And obviously we know what Ning is a metaphor for the younger girls and the madam trying to keep a hold of the girls that respect her, essentially. But the guys are right down this alleyway, and there's 3 of them, as you can see, and it's kind of hard to sneak up on them. Because if we want to get close, then that means turning around the corner, and they don't like us getting too close to them. Yeah, as you see, they get alarmed and try pushing you away, and you can't exactly knock them all out. If you want and manage to do so, then you can switch over to a gas grenade and you can throw it into the centre of them, like so. But of course they see that, and although it's silent, it does make them hostile.
An exploit. Okay.
No, they notice it just before the gas knocks them out. But what we can do is just land down here under here. And there's a little sewer pipe, and actually just there's a missing girl. That's not Ning, but that's just a missing person, and in China alone, in today's standards, there's around 5 million missing women.
God damn, wow.
That's a statistic I've seen. And keep in mind China's population, and there's actually a conspiracy theory that this is the government kidnapping women. So a female genocide to sort of cull the population down.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and that is actually an issue that is being brought up in Deus Ex. So, it's a nice little background detail there.
To add a little bit of levity, I was going to ask you, at some point during this LP, what augmentations would you have if given the option to have any of them?
I just went from a bombshell, and you're saying what augmentations I'd like to have.
Yes, but, I'm trying to add some levity. And you know what? That question is now kind of redundant because it's clear that both of us would go for the
arms.
Whatever sexual augmentations these prostitutes are having.
What? No. So.
Yes.
No, I'm not even going to bother answering that. I'm not.
Vibrator hands.
To just get a cock ring. I mean, So if you have the cloaking device, then these guys are easy. You can use the peps at a risk, but I prefer to use cloaking. It's a lot easier. And you can sneak past the guys, stun one of them, and knock the other guy out. Ghost strength doesn't apply to...
I like that guy's username, Cloud666. That's like something a 14-year-old or DeviantArt would make his username.
Yeah. Hey,
Access granted.
it's rather easy to get into, and here we found Ning.
Hooray!
Yeah, there she is. And of course that guy back there had the pocket secretary on him.
Who are you?
Your friend May sent me. She said you were in trouble. Are you hurt?
May. Thank God. And no, I'm fine. They didn't touch me. Not yet, anyway. If you hadn't come, though, how did you find me?
I asked around. I can be persuasive.
I have to get out of here.
You sure you're okay? Can you leave here on your own?
Yes, thank you. Whoever you are, thank you so much. I need to go. I need to get out of this city. I need to get away from that monster, Chan. Tell May, tell her. Thank you for everything. I owe her. I owe you both my life.
So that's the end of the first part of the quest, and now we're just going to return to May for our reward.
Ning, did you find her?
I did. She's safe, but running. I think she plans on leaving the city.
She always is a smart girl. I'm glad. I will contact her to make sure she is safe. As promised, here's your payment. If you want more, I have another task. Something suitable for a man of your many talents. Are you interested?
My interest would depend on the task.
By now, I'm sure you heard of Diamond Chan. He is evil man who feeds off the pain and misery of this city. If we are to stay in peace here, he must be taken care of.
You want me to kill Chan?
Yes, but you must make it look like an accident or suicide.
What is it exactly you want me to do?
Lower Hensha is a dangerous place. I know Diamond Chan stay at an apartment near a rooftop. Knock him out, then drop his body into the alley below. Gravity will do the rest.
What kind of payment is involved?
Double what I gave you for rescuing Ning, if you make certain we are rid of Chan for good.
So here, of course, there is a way to do it in a non-lethal manner. Although it's heavily implied that she wants you to
There
kill
has to be another way to remove Chan from the picture without resorting to murder.
There is. I have access to certain stimulants. If Chan was caught with them, he would no longer be a problem.
Meaning I could plant drugs on him.
Not on him. Somewhere in his apartment will be enough. He may be dead, though. So knock him out, leave the drug, and come back here to me. I have a friend. He works with the police. I'll contact him and he'll make sure Chan is arrested.
So of course the madam, the most respected and smartest of all of the hookers, has a plan.
Tell me about Diamond Chan.
He's a monster. At first, he forced my girls to take drugs until they be addicted. It made them easy to control and dependent on him. But now, with cheap black market augmentations and customers with augmentation fantasies, it is even worse.
The Li Xing you spoke of earlier.
Yes. In order to squeeze more milk from his cows, he butchers them. The augments are just another form of control. The girls can always be tracked, and the need for neuropathy means they will not run away.
Why does his death need to look like a suicide?
I've made threats against Chan in the past. Because you helped Ning, if anything happens to Chan now, his harvester friends will think we are responsible. I do not want that to happen.
Once Chan is gone, what will you do? Won't some other drug lord turned pimp take advantage of your vulnerability?
I know someone who recently started his own security company. I will hire them to protect us. It should be more than enough, and I can trust them.
I'll do it.
Good. I'll give you the address of Diamond Chan's apartment. It is on one of the nearby rooftops. Lower Hensha is a dangerous place. Simply knock Chan out, then drop his body into the alley below. Gravity will do the rest. But if you wish only to get Chan arrested, take these drugs. Plant them somewhere in his apartment after you've knocked him out. When you are done, return to me and I will contact my friend in the police. He will do the rest.
Anything else I should know?
Chan should be alone. He is too proud to have bodyguards around. But be careful. Even alone, Chan is dangerous.
Got it.
Mr. Jenson, remember not to cause any wounds on Diamond Chan that make it look like murder. any suspicion will bring us more trouble from his friends.
So no tranquilizers or peps. Which means strictly hand-to-hand submission shouldn't be a problem.
That is good, yes. Good luck, Mr. Jenson. I will wait here.
So this part of
Okay, let's take out Diamond Chan.
Yep. Off we go to the other part of Hengsha, the more dangerous part. A bit where you definitely need the Icarus landing system to get around in.
Well, this is all the same kind of area we found the hacker in, am I correct?
Yeah, well, at this point when I was recording, I hadn't done the main mission first. As you can see, there's still the icon, but hey, Diamond Chan is straight through here on the phone. And this is a white guy doing his voice, by the sounds of it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, which sounds racist. That's actually the regional accent, which isn't Mandarin, it's the other Chinese-based language. But you can tell which voice actors are...
Cantonese, sorry.
Cantonese and Mandarin, yeah. You can usually tell which are Cantonese and Mandarin. Mandarin is the more commonly spoken language in China in the more city-based areas, and you can tell which voice actors learnt verbatim on a phonetical level and nothing more, because their voice acting is very bad and they don't really enunciate the words correctly.
If this were a Fallout game, I would totally steal those white clothes.
So yeah, there's Diamond Chan. I kind of like this mission because it reminds me of the Hitman Blood Money missions where you could make it look like suicide, where you knock a guy out and throw him off the edge. And there is actually a way where you can throw him off the edge and you don't lose your pacifist rank.
Please explain.
Well, once you drag him to the edge, you can run over to this part of the town, and there's a wall that I punched through earlier, but you can punch through there, and there's a load of boxes here, actually behind the gate, next to those two boxes. If you jump over the boxes, then there's a ammo capacity upgrade, which I put on my pistol. But what you can do is that you can grab a load of these boxes. It's kind of a lot of effort, but you can all...
Yeah, this looks very roundabout, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain, and I don't really manage to do it myself, but what you do is that you carry them over and you can stack them up on those little side skirts on the building just there, and
allowing him a less fatal descent.
Yeah, because you complete the mission by basically throwing him off, but if he doesn't fall far, then he survives. And it's something that I didn't manage to do because it's very hard, but the other way is by planting VHS tapes in the building. And
Are they the box of drugs? Sorry.
Yeah, but they look like VHSs to me, so...
yeah, good stuff.
Once you do that, you talk back to May the madam.
Has Chan been taken care of?
I planted the drugs and left him unconscious in his apartment. Your friend should have no trouble with the arrest.
I will contact him immediately. Thank you.
Just glad I could help.
You saved us, Mr. Jenson. Money does not feel like enough thanks for what you have done. But here's the payment promised. I hope you will be satisfied with it.
So that's the first side quest complete. It's not enough to... It's actually enough to add up in total to, I think, 1 or 2 praxis kits. So if you're having trouble with money, if you complete that quest, you can still buy the ones at the limb clinic. So the next mission is Bar Tab, and we get this as soon as we enter the hive. And we have to talk to the bartender for this one. If you remember, it's if you fail the conversation.
Looks like Tong's running a nice operation here.
You for hire? Because a suspicious man might not appreciate you asking.
A suspicious man might also wonder what kind of job gets handed off to strangers. But alright, I'll bite. What are you offering?
I got a problem I need solving. Trouble is, none of my usual guys are available. And this problem? It involves a woman. Someone who owes Tong Operation here some money. Getting it out of her is proving to be difficult. It's a dirty job, but it pays well. You interested?
Tell me more. I'm listening.
That's what I like to hear. This woman, Jaya, she's a broker. Highly competitive field in Hengsha. But without the right skills, her business wasn't doing so well. So, We helped her out, gave her a nice social enhancement upgrade chip so she could understand her client's needs. Now, it's time to pay us what's due, but she says she won't.
So basically you want me to be your collector?
Yes, but it's not as simple as that. The girl's gone into hiding and thinks we won't find her. But she also took her phone and computer along to keep her business alive.
Not very smart, assuming you've got the equipment to track those.
We don't exactly. But we know someone who does, and that's where you come in. Bow Tower set up a surveillance network around town, a series of relay antennas. I need you to hack them. 3 relays should be enough for us to access the database and triangulate Jaya's position.
Then I go get your money.
Exactly. The first relay is on the rooftop of a 4-story building in the Yuzhou district. I assume you've got an info link and Wayfinder package in those fancy OGs of yours? I'll upload the coordinates and then contact you once you've hacked in.
So yeah, this is one of the more boring missions because it's just running about, hacking a few terminals and then talking to people. It's nothing really special.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but we do see a bit of the politics of augmentations.
Good job, Lao Wei. I see you found the first relay. Now hack it and turn off its security protocols.
I was just messing about earlier and talking bollocks, but
yeah, you were. You literally were.
Yes, but sex augmentations. But on a genuine note, what if ever, say in 30 years' time, you were offered the chance for an augmentation? Which would you take?
I don't know, like arms or something in the brain.
Arms and a brain, like not. I mean, like a specific perk, or just
arms.
Just arms and brain.
I want different arms. I like Jenson arms. Don't like
I would
my
take
arms.
the Icarus landing gear.
We live in a flat city. You don't even need that. There's nowhere to you to fall. The furthest you're gonna fall is down a flight of stairs, right? Which is like 5 feet.
Well, yeah. Imagine instead of ever having to walk downstairs again, you just jump, and the gear does the rest. How awesome would that be?
Yeah, but you're jumping forward. You might as well roll when you land. It's not even gonna do anything.
Well, you know what? I'm going to find as many precipices as I can and jump off all of them just to spite you.
We live in a flat city. There's none of them.
Well, I'm going to move to the Highlands. I'm going to jump off Mount Everest. In the Highlands. Wait, what? I mixed up my thoughts there.
That's in Asia.
Excellent work. I'm starting the triangulation now. Should have a location very soon. And I've got it. Jaya is hiding in an apartment building called the Hengsha Court Gardens in the Yuzhou district. I'm sending you her coordinates. Get over there and get us the money she owes.
I read that as Bobby Bad, but it's actually Bobby Bow.
It's his bebop name. Obviously, we're entering open massive loophole in security, but again, we have to re-enter this tower.
That was almost comical. Just boop, and I'm in.
Yeah. So this is the other room from the top floor.
Who are you? Another one of Tong's thugs? Well, get out! I told him I won't pay another credit!
Look, I know this is not an ideal situation, and I'm not proud that I gotta do this. But Tong's crew wants the money you owe them.
Oh, you poor boy. Having trouble dealing with the dirty job you have to do? And I should feel sorry for you? Reality check, taxman. You're here to steal money from me.
Stealing? They got you the augmentation you needed, and they expect you to pay for it. Not the most charitable thing to do, but I would hardly call it stealing.
Are you really that gullible? Tong doesn't run a buy now, pay later operation. It's more like a buy now, pay forever. Listen, I just started as a broker. Most other brokers come from rich families. They paid for augments that give them an incredible edge in the business. There's no way I could afford anything like that through legal channels.
So you cut a deal with a crime syndicate?
I didn't study this hard to end up with nothing. Once I made enough money, I offered to pay for the aug. But no, what they want is part of my monthly profits. They say they're entitled to it since it's their upgraded enhancement chip that helped me make that money.
So here's more of the politics of, again, the sort of thing I was talking about, how the rich families stay rich and keep the poor out by buying these augmentations for their children, something that you touched upon in another video. And they're basically cheating their way out of the system.
Couldn't you work without the augment? You wouldn't have gotten into so much trouble if you'd played by the rules.
Play by the rules? Let me tell you a little story about playing by the rules. I come from a poor family. My father, my mother, my 2 sisters, and 3 brothers, none of them ever amounted to much. When I tried to do better, when I made efforts in school, they said I was wasting my time. I got into business school, and again, they said I was wasting my time. That I could never compete with all those rich kids and their tutors and extra classes.
But you did.
I did. I finished top of my class, without the extra help and special attention, only through blood, sweat, and tears. And then what did my classmates do? They cheated. They once again bought their way to success. And what did my family say? That I had wasted my time. I was just supposed to accept defeat after all the efforts I've made? No. No way.
How much are they asking from you?
A couple 100 credits every month. Doesn't look like much, but in the long run, let's just say they've made a very lucrative deal. Especially if you consider I'm not their only client.
How did you meet Tong?
The same way most people end up meeting Tong. I was hurt, and one of his hounds smelled blood. They came to me and offered me help. I was intelligent enough to know it was a bad idea, but angry enough not to care.
So here we can either extort the money out of her, get her to pay the full price, or we can chip in ourselves.
Listen, maybe I can speak to one of Tong's men. Try and get you off the hook.
You would do that? I thought you were just another one of his mindless thugs. It's hard to properly express what this could mean for me.
Don't thank me yet. I can't guarantee they'll listen, but I'll try.
I extorted her.
Bastard.
It's business. Business
Look
is
at me,
business.
I'm David. I'm going to swing my business cock everywhere, but I'm not helping this woman, unlike Tim, who's a very charitable man, who cares about human sanctity in life.
You got a favorite poison?
Hey, about that job?
You found Jaya yet? You need to get back the money she owes us.
So here we can get up some more details, which I didn't pick up the first round through, like the reward and the task.
This woman, Jaya. Tell me again what you want from her.
Only the money she owes. Payment for an upgraded social enhancement chip we got for her. Thanks to you, we now know she's hiding in an apartment building in the residential district, the Hengsha Court Gardens.
I know the place. Had to get into it once already.
Second time's always the charm.
There's a nice bit of situational dialogue.
It still works.
Like you said, this is a nasty bit of work. What's in it for me?
You seem like a tech-savvy type. I can get you a nice little praxis kit. Something you won't regret.
So yeah, this is one of 2 quests that get us a praxis kit in this area.
What's it gonna take for you to leave Jaya alone for good?
I don't understand. Didn't you get the money?
I know about the Shylock scam you're running. Get her the augment she wants and then bleed her with monthly payments for the rest of her life. I want to know what it's gonna take for you to leave her alone for good.
A cyborg with a heart of gold, are we? Tell you what, Guaylo. You give me a year's worth of payments and she's free.
To be fair, we did get the Heart of Gold augmentation, as seen in the trailer. And this is what we've been saving up for these sort of
You're
situations.
too kind a man. A fine specimen of humanity. Here's your money. Now you better leave her alone.
Don't make threats you can't enforce. But yes, she's off the hook. Here's the praxis kit we promised you. It's top-notch, so have fun.
So something you can do there is you can actually knock him out and steal the practice kit off him if you fail.
But surely you just get your shit wrecked in that place.
Yeah, so Shanghai Justice, this is the one. As soon as we get entrance to the Alex Garden pods, and here is definitely the best mission in the game.
Jenson, I was on my way out.
What are you doing here, Malik? I told you I got this one.
I know, I didn't do anything. Trust me, Van Bruggen's all yours.
Hang on a second. Something's wrong. What is it? Why are you here?
It's nothing. I mean, can't a girl have secrets?
Malik is the best character.
Yeah, definitely, and this is one of the reasons why we have some nice character interaction here, including with the pheromone system, which we're going to use. Let's charm her.
Malik,
Jenson, if you even think of using that CASIE mod on me, I will hit you.
I wouldn't dream of it. I'm just concerned, that's all.
Fine, since you're so damn curious. Years ago, I used to live here, remember? My friend, my best friend, Evelyn. She was like a sister to me. Made living here fun. But then there was an accident. She's dead.
I'm sorry, Malik.
Wait, Jenson, let me finish. I thought I was okay with it, but I know she didn't just die. She was killed. Murdered. Her damn scumbag boyfriend did it. I know he did. I knew he was trouble right from the start, but she just wouldn't listen to me.
Malik, easy. If your friend was murdered, the police would have suspected something. They would have investigated.
That's just it. There was no investigation. They said she fell down a flight of stairs like it was some kind of freak accident. But her wounds, the way she died, they don't add up. It's right here in the damn blood spatter analysis.
Blood spatter? You've seen the police report?
Yes. A friend left a copy of it in a pod here for me to pick up. Listen, I know it sounds crazy, but I think there's been a cover-up. I just have to prove it. If I could get my hands on the autopsy report, the one that never surfaced, I know I'd get the truth. Except...
Why do I suspect I'm about to get dragged into something?
Look, Jenson, I'm sorry. I know Van Bruggen is the priority here, and I told you it was my business and I could take care of it. It's just... The more I think about it, the more I realize I'm in over my head. I'm just a pilot. I'm not a damn cop. But I need to know the truth.
It's the second one in the game. Goddamn. Police corrupt.
That's one of the things about the whole corrupt society.
This autopsy report. Once you got your hands on it, what were you planning on doing next?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm a pilot, not a cop. But I felt I had to do something while I had the chance. Maybe once you get the report and we know what it says, we can improvise.
You said you've seen the police report. Who gave it to you?
An old friend who was also a good friend of Evelyn's. He used to work for the Shanghai PD. He left a copy of it along with a few other things concerning Evelyn in a pod here for me to look at. He also left some instructions on how to contact someone at LIM for the autopsy report he's convinced was intentionally buried.
Why would LIM have anything to do with Evelyn's autopsy report?
Well, if you haven't noticed, the Chinese government has been outsourcing branches of its public services for years. Bell Tower polices the streets, and nowadays LIM does more than just cosmetic surgery. They're often contracted for special cases like Evelyn's.
And what made Evelyn's case so special, you think?
Her boyfriend, Lee. He was at the scene. He had Evelyn's blood on him and tested positive for alcohol and drugs in his system. With his rap sheet, it wasn't looking good for him. But his family, they're on a lot of boards with deep pockets and a lot of reach. They wouldn't suffer the embarrassment of having their son indicted on a suspected murder charge.
Tell me about Evelyn.
She was beautiful, carefree, loved to have a good time. I met her during my internship for a private transportation and logistics firm here in Shanghai. She was a great pilot, too. Knew how to feel the currents, to push the bird just so. Too bad her talents for reading the wind didn't translate to reading guys.
How so?
She was always getting into trouble with the wrong crowds. And it always had to do with some boy. She knew I didn't like him. Her boyfriend at the time, Lee. It drove a wedge between us, and when we parted ways, it wasn't amicable.
I understand.
She was a good girl, Jenson. She deserved better.
Why do you suspect Evelyn's boyfriend had something to do with her death?
Because he was poison, right from the start. Born into money and influence, but never once assuming responsibility for anything. I don't think he's worked an honest day in his life.
So he was a wealthy, pig-headed asshole. If that was reason enough to accuse someone of murder, half the world would be in the pen.
No, there's more to it than that. He's known for violent outbursts, domestic altercations. He nearly killed a kid over some stupid gambling feud. The problem is, his family made him untouchable, even to the police.
And Evelyn was okay with all of this?
She always tried to see the good in people, give him the benefit of the doubt. You could say that's just being naive or even stupid, but I think she was just innocent.
Oh, that would be a really dick move.
Yeah, of course we're gonna help.
Okay, I'll help. What do you need me to do?
My lead, he works for LIM. He's a systems technician who apparently has access to their entire database. He's willing to hand over a copy of Evelyn's autopsy report.
So you want me to meet him and get the report, is that it?
Yes, but he'll only respond to a certain phrase. Death and life have their determined appointments. To which he'll reply, riches and honors depend upon heaven.
Christ, Malik, this is starting to sound like something out of a bad spy movie.
I know. He's just trying to protect himself. I didn't pick the damn quote. So just play along and remember the line, okay? You'll find him inside the lobby of the Lower Hengsha Limb Clinic.
Does this guy have a name?
None that I know of. But he apparently goes by the handle Anonymous X. I know.
Anonymous X. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, before I forget, everything concerning Evelyn's incident, newspaper articles, the police report, limb details, it's all inside pod 009 here in the hotel. You should read over everything if you can.
Pod 9. Got it.
I need to go. Contact me with any updates and... Thank you. I really appreciate this, Jenson.
What we've got here is Frida Malik's friend from pilot school has turned up dead, and she doesn't believe that it was an accident. She believes her boyfriend did it, and she wants us to collect evidence to prove her case.
Alright.
Definitely the best mission because it's investigating something that I've never seen done as well in any other game. There are a few faults in this, but what I love about this mission is that you actually have to pay attention to details and read this stuff. All of this is important. Of course, I've done that really quickly, but pause to read it yourself. And whilst we wait, do you want to hear some stuff about Malik?
Go for it. I like her.
So, she grew up in Hengsha when she was at fight school with her friend, and her character model is Arabic, and her original...
Arabic, or...
Arabic, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And the name Farita Malik actually means precious protector. Precious owner in Arabic. I'm not really sure of the choice behind that name for her.
Well, she is your...
Yeah,
she is kind of your kind of protector, was it? Yeah.
Precious owner.
Oh. She owns you?
No.
Okay.
Can't you see I'm busy? Go bother someone else.
So it doesn't matter what we pick here, this is just nice detail.
Something, death and taxes, Confucius.
What? Wait, that's not it at all. That's not even close.
Does it matter?
Of course it matters. Otherwise, how am I supposed to know You were supposed to say, death and life have their determined appointments. Then I say, riches and honors depend upon heaven.
Okay. Death and life have their determined appointments.
Riches and... Oh, never mind. You ruined the whole thing. Just meet me outside the clinic. It's safer for us to talk out there. Turn left from the front and go down the stairs. I'll be waiting at the corner.
With a cap that says #Chan, and the fact that his name is Anonymous X, is this guy really meant to be like an internet dork? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, that's the joke.
That was hardly what I would call a smooth interaction. I could get into serious trouble for this, you know.
Sorry, I'm new to this spy game stuff.
Right. Well, you're not exactly what I was expecting. I was told I would be meeting a girl. How do I know you're not an imposter or some sort of double agent? Don't think I don't know this could all just be an elaborate trap to set me up.
Look, no offense, Mr. X, or whatever your name is, but I really don't have time for this. So if you could simply just give me what I came for, I'll be on my way.
Yes. I have it right here. Evelyn Carmichael's autopsy report. Here, take it.
Thank you.
I trust you will put this information to good use, because accountability and justice is at an all-time low, I'm afraid. It pains me to see this once great city, which stood as a bastion for reform and progress against our oppressive communist origins, succumb to the trappings of corporate bureaucracy and petty corruption. Corruption so often typical of your Western governments.
Whatever you say. Now, if you don't mind, I really must be going.
Well, there is still the matter of my payment. 1,000 credits was the agreed-upon price, I believe. Isn't that right?
So, Tim, I didn't know you made a cameo in this game.
Shut up. It's like...
government's evil. I'm going to analyse everything.
Shut up. So he's already given us an information, so then there's no real consequences for this, so what do you think we're gonna do, even though we have the money? Idiot.
A little piece of advice. When attempting to extort money from someone, don't give them what they want before trying to rip them off.
What? What? You mean you aren't going to pay? But I risked everything to get you that file.
Chalk it up to a learning experience and move on.
You scoundrel! You'll regret this someday. You just mark my words.
See you later, X.
I'm gonna blog about you on Tumblr.
I followed that up by punching him in the face. It was great. Like, you wouldn't believe how satisfying.
Do you want to punch me in the face? Is that what I'm getting at?
Maybe. Kind of. Yes.
Malik, I just got the autopsy report. No drugs or alcohol in Evelyn's system. And her estimated time of death doesn't fit Lee's story. She did die from a head wound, but not one that matches the evidence found at the scene.
I knew it. It couldn't have been just an accident.
There's more. Evelyn was pregnant. Malik?
I'm here. We can't let him get away with this, Jenson. He's guilty. He has to be. Can you go to his apartment?
And do what?
Get proof. Get something. I'm sending you the coordinates. Contact me again when you're there.
Oh, hey, we're there. Hello.
It's crossfade. It's right around the corner here. You need a level 3 hack to complete this mission non-lethal. But if you don't have the code, but you still want to do it pacifist, the code is 1234.
Is everybody? I like that everybody in this mission is grossly incompetent.
It's like a parody, but this mission is done really well. And for this little bit, I was trying to find stuff and contact Malik again, but turns out you actually have to go right to the bathroom at the back to check that it's completely empty before you can do anything.
Okay, I like that you felt like moving their fridge, just to inconvenience them.
Dude, always clean behind the fridge.
So this is a Lee's place, isn't it?
This is Lee's place. As you can see, it's been cleaned out, so it's going to be harder for us to find evidence. But hey.
Malik, I'm inside Lee's apartment. Doesn't look like anyone's home.
Damn. Okay, look. Lee isn't smart enough to properly cover his tracks, so look around. Maybe you can find something suspicious.
Apparently he suffers from very severe diarrhea.
Hey, well, this is definitely one of the best parts of a mission. It's like in LA Noire when you have to search for clues, only it's not as obvious. But some of this still does fall apart, like when you do this.
Malik, I think I got a probable murder weapon. A broken clock. The kicker is the hands line up roughly with Evelyn's TOD. Coincidence?
That's a hell of a stretch. You really think?
If Lee's as dumb as you say, maybe. We'd need lab tech analysis to confirm, but if there ever was a smoking gun, it fits. I'll keep looking. I'm sure there's more here.
Well,
you know,
the issue here is with the mission I'm talking about is that it explains everything for you, even on the harder difficulties, so if you want to figure it out yourself, you don't have a chance to do that. I'd really like a detective game where you had to look for clues and it didn't explain it to you and you had to work on it yourself. Even LA Noire fell privy to this and played it too safe. Even on the hardest difficulty, Deus Ex doesn't take away those training wheels, and I would have thought this mission was perfect if it didn't do that and you had to do it all yourself. Because then it would have been really smart, and it meant you had to look for details like this about you found a reason for the murder and you found out how they covered it up with these emails. But again, once you find these clues, Jenson just calls up Malik and they discuss it all for you, which does mean that you get some character interaction, but it still takes away from the experience.
Not to be meta, but we're quite guilty of explaining the thing you just watched.
This is an LP.
Yeah.
Malik, it looks like Hong Sr. was upset with Hong Jr.'s behavior and threatened to cut off his inheritance if he didn't stop whoring around. Sounds like he considered Evelyn beneath the family name.
And if he knew she was pregnant, I can't believe Lee would do something like that just for money.
Speaking of money, the Hong family seems heavily invested in both Bell Tower and Lim. That could explain the cover-up and lack of a proper investigation. I'll stick around a bit. I'm sure there's still more to find.
So has he got a safe lying around? No evidence in there. What else is around? Well, let's go check his answering messages.
Hey Lee, baby. Can't wait to see you tonight. But I'm stuck at work. I know, I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, baby. I promise. I'll meet you at the Hive, okay? Just don't get a party started without me. I want you all to myself tonight.
The Hive? I should have guessed Lee would be there. It's pretty much a second home for him.
Wait a minute, you heard that?
Sorry, Jenson. I don't like invading your privacy like this, but it's important. Plus, this gives me an idea. When you're done looking around Lee's apartment, head to the Hive. Contact me when you're there.
I'll make one last sweep to make sure I got everything.
So there is actually a red herring in this apartment, which they could have done more of them to throw you off. And the red herring is the toilet. Ah, it's a JPEG! He must be a crime lord!
All that toilet paper, something is up. Maybe he used it to mop up all the blood.
Malik, I flooded his bathroom.
Okay.
I pooped up the toilet. So the only other red herring, the real red herring, is this bat.
Yeah, I looked at that first and
Malik,
it threw me off.
I found a baseball bat, but it looks clean. Almost like it's been washed recently.
Maybe Lee washed Evelyn's blood off of it.
That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not sure it could inflict the type of laceration she had. Okay, I think that's it. I'm heading to the Hive now. I doubt we'll find anything else in here without calling in a forensics team.
Sounds good.
It would have been great if they threw off that red herring by having like a picture of his favourite baseball star somewhere. To imply that no, he's just a baseball fan.
I think it's more subtle if you don't point towards it. But, this mission would be great if it didn't explain things like that, because it meant you had to use your own initiative and look through the autopsy report and use your brain. But hey, off we go for a nice intro to the Hive. What a shot. And of course, sneaking through the back as always. We're in the Hive.
Malik, I'm in the Hive. What's your plan?
Find Lee and talk to him. I want you to convince him you know exactly what he did to Evelyn and why. If you can make him panic, I'm willing to bet he'll spill his guts. Just make it look like blackmail. If he's willing to pay to keep you quiet, he's basically tying his own noose. I'll listen in and record everything.
Got it.
He has frog feet.
I was going to say, why are you staring at that guy? That's not Lee.
One of the houses. No, you have to find Lee in here. And something actually I didn't point out about Malik yet is, you know that mole on her cheek?
Go on.
That's actually a piercing. A stud, which is traditional Arabic piercing. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I thought there'd be some deep political meaning behind that, but hey, that's a nice little touch.
It's just a thing that you don't see often, those types of piercings. But hey, here's Lee. The dick.
What you want, Chrome Boy?
Is your name Lee Hong?
Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. What's it to you?
I want to talk to you about Evelyn Carmichael.
Man, it's off! I already told all you narcos all there is to say.
Relax. I'm not with the police. I work private. And you could say I specialize in cases like yours.
If you ain't police, then what the fuck you want?
A simple proposition. I have proof that shows you murdered Evelyn. And I want you to pay me 2.5 million credits to make that proof disappear.
2.5? Bullshit. You ain't got shit on me, narco. I ain't paying you shit.
I strongly suggest you reconsider.
And I strongly suggest you get the fuck out of my face. Cause unless you got your proof right here, I ain't got shit to say to you.
Alright. Let's start with the police report. I know your story doesn't match up with the evidence at the scene of Evelyn's fall.
Oh yeah? And why's that?
So this is the bit of the mission which is great, because you have to read the evidence to see this stuff, otherwise you'll get it wrong and he'll reject you.
Because the police report itself was falsified. Why else would that be, if not to cover up a weak alibi?
Man, you gotta be kidding me. That's some weak ass shit right there.
Not only does the evidence not add up, but neither does your testimony. You lied about why Evelyn fell down the stairs in the first place.
Objection!
So, again, you have to read the autopsy here to find the evidence of what was happening.
You said you'd both been drinking heavily prior to the accident, and the reason Evelyn fell was because she was drunk. We both know that isn't true.
Man, that shit was in the papers.
Now, if the evidence doesn't fit and your story was a lie, then how did Evelyn die on that night? Well, the answer is pretty simple, really. You killed her. But how?
So here we have our two red herrings, the fists and the baseball bat. But if you read the autopsy, then you know about the lacerations.
By hitting her in the head with that antique clock you keep so prominently displayed in your apartment. The lacerations on her head, the intracranial hemorrhaging, it's the perfect match.
In my apartment? How the fuck do you know what's in my apartment?
And like any good crime of passion, you needed motivation. Something to fuel your violent outbursts. What did Evelyn say or do to make you murder her?
More red herrings. You have to read the emails to find this one out. And this is really sad as well.
Yeah.
She told you she was pregnant, and you panicked. Faced with the prospect of losing your easy way of life, you struck out at her in anger.
How? That's impossible.
But now the final piece of the puzzle. Why was Evelyn's death never considered a murder investigation? Because your family, one of the wealthiest and most influential families in Shanghai, covered it up. But whose silence did they buy?
Who did they bribe, David?
I forgot. It's Lim. They bribed the hospital.
No.
Bell Tower. Your family's sizable investments in Bell Tower assured they would turn a blind eye to any of your run-ins with the law, no matter how serious.
Fuck this shit, man! And fuck you!
I can help you, Lee. But only for a price.
Alright, fuck! I can't believe this shit! I'll pay you, man! I'll pay you, just... What do you need from me?
Details. Let me hear your side of the story, and then we'll move on from there.
I don't know! Evelyn, that stupid bitch! She was going to ruin me. I didn't mean to kill her, okay? Evelyn wouldn't shut up about us, about the baby, so I hit her! I just wanted to make her shut her stupid mouth. But the dumb bitch started freaking out. So I hit her again until she finally stopped screaming. When I realized what I'd done, I panicked. She was barely breathing, so I carried her to the stairs near my apartment and dropped her. I had to make sure it looked like an accident. I had no choice. She trapped me. She just wanted my money. I would have been ruined.
I need to go. We'll be in contact again soon.
Huh? What about the evidence? And the money? Where the fuck you going?
Goodbye, Lee.
Even for a fictional character, that's really fucking repulsive. Ugh.
That thing really happens.
Malik, please tell me you got a recording of all that.
Oh my god, Jenson, I could kiss you right now. I can't believe you got him to confess so openly like that.
To be honest, it was easier than I was expecting. You were definitely right about Lee. He's not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed.
Well, don't get too cocky just yet. Before I send our little friend's confession off to the local media and authorities, I want to get some Shanghai street justice first. There's a control panel linked to the hive I need you to hack. Uploading the coordinates now.
He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, he's definitely a monkey wrench.
This is probably one of my favourite moments of the whole game. I love this.
The best ending, completely justified. So you have to... The guards around don't mind you hacking this terminal. I'm not sure if it's because of my rep with Tong. And then I found out that it wasn't. It doesn't really matter.
Oh.
They're open about you hacking this.
Alright, Malik. It's hacked.
Verifying the signal. Come on. Okay, I'm in. Remote frequencies are clear, thank God. Uploading now. And done. Meet me in front of the hive, Jenson. I have a little surprise for our friend Lee.
This is amazing.
This is how street justice. This is street justice at its best. I love it. So Malik's going to materialise in front of us now for this brilliant cutscene.
Jenson.
Malik?
Well, first take this. I was going to use it myself, but after everything you've done, I think you deserve it more.
So what are you going to do now?
I have a few loose ends to tie up, and I need to make sure this autopsy report finds its way into the right hands. The Hongs aren't going to buy their way out of this one.
Lee's confession is solid. With that and the evidence from the autopsy, there's no way he can avoid prosecution. Justice will be served.
Oh, justice will be served, all right. You might want to stick around for a second. I've got one last little surprise for our friend Lee.
I love that this is actually a mission. Is stand in front and watch the amazingness.
Are you facing the hive? It's almost showtime. In 3, 2...
Malik.
Just watch.
I don't know. Evelyn, that stupid bitch! She was going to ruin me. I didn't mean to kill her, okay?
Malik, remind me never to piss you off.
After everything you've done here for Evelyn, For me, you'd have to try pretty hard, mister.
Boom, and that's why Malik's the best. Street justice, motherfucker. And that's the end of the side quest for Hengsha, and now we've got both the quest lines sorted. It's time for the main mission away from Shanghai.
Fucking love the way that ends.